It's Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook. Happy New Year. What? When is the last time I did a video? It's been a while, right? I think that, if I remember correctly, I think I did one in November. I don't think I did any in December. And I'm just feeling guilty because I had every intention of making a video earlier than now. But wait, let me rewind. If you hear any panting, that is Ella. She is right there. She insists on being in the room. So we just went for a walk and she's a little tired. So she's getting her little pant on. So that's what you can hear in the background. I have been meaning to make a video in the very beginning of January. Actually, I mean to make a video in December, but nothing happened like I thought. You know, December, this is what I did. Last year, I did the 12 Days of December, which was fun, but a lot of work. And this year, I was like, nope, not doing it this year. Maybe every other year, or I'll figure out something to do in December. I think I have ideas, if things go well, what to do in December that would be fun. I had probably in the last 4 to 5 months of the year kind of gotten off the rhythm of my regular videos. And I don't want to do that. I actually want to increase the amount of videos I can do. And you know, we'll see. I'm not going to make any promises because life is going like this. It's kind of crazy right now. And so, yeah, I don't want to make promises I can't keep. So December kind of got crazy with holiday stuff and family and travel and, you know, all of that stuff. And it just kind of, I got swept away. And what I decided, I think last year in December, I said, or the year prior now, in 2023, I decided that December was not going to have a TBR because it's just going to add pressure onto a month that's already filled with pressure. And so I didn't. And I think last December I didn't read anything. This December I did read a book, and but you know, I still didn't do a TBR. And I think I'm going to stick with that for sure for December. So 11 months of books isn't that bad. And having December be ideally what December was supposed to be. Let me tell you what it was supposed to be if you don't remember from my past videos. December was supposed to be the time that I picked up this lovely book journal and updated stuff and fixed things and completed it. No, that did not happen in December. I did do a couple, you know, filled in a couple more things that I needed to, but still not as close to finish that I'd like to be. But one win is that I've gotten significantly further than I did in the past years. So I feel like 2025 might be the year that I'll actually get to the end of the year, at the end of the year, as opposed to the next year. And so I do have a little bit of catch up. I do want to go back in and fill in some of the stuff that I have missed out and I haven't filled in. And I've decided this year I'm going to do a separate video to show you. I think what I'm going to do is show you my setup of my new one for 2025, and also you know, show you some highlights from this year as opposed to try to flip you through the whole year, because there are going to be some holes even after I get to where I want to. But I will definitely, you know, share a good bulk of this, and so you'll get to see. And I'll talk about what I carried forward from this and what I decided to leave behind. There's some things, even when I was, you know, in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to do this because I've already started working on the new one. And I said, I'm not going to put this because I didn't do well. And then I got started, and then I'm like, I kind of really want to. I am definitely one of those nerd outs that likes charts. I like to check boxes. I like to look at, you know, stats in the way that, not in a competitive way, but just being able to look at maybe how many of this type of genre that I read and things like that. Those things kind of tickle me. So, so I want to do that video, ideally by the end of this month. And then I could have, hopefully, in a couple of reviews, and also have maybe a little more in this one to show you some of the highlights from. So that's a future video going to come. And I feel bad because I said that all year with this one. I was going to do it. and it didn't. So, you know, there's always room for improvement. Maybe this is going to be something that I'll be able to succeed in this year. I don't mind, even if I don't complete the book, what I have completed is still very valuable to me, because I forget books and I forget things more and more. And for me, the time I spend with the book is really important and I value it. And I hate to lose the memory of books, especially ones that I really enjoy. And so I definitely, you know, and you should think that way too. You know, don't feel like beat yourself up if you have not filled every page in. Just look at the ones that you did fill in and just be happy, because when I do look back at these that I have in here already, it makes me happy and it reminds me of, oh, I feel this. I remember that feeling I had when I read the book. So that'll be coming up soon. I won't talk about this too much, but I already read a book this month. It's one that I bought. I think I bought in 2024, earlier in the year. I had pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble, because I try to every now and then pop in and do some purchases there, because I am glad to see that they are thriving again. Because, you know, we have a lot of these online giants, one not to be mentioned, that we shop from, and we just don't want to just give all our business there. I do on a regular basis also shop my local indie stores. So, but this one I had pre-ordered, and for whatever reason I just felt like I wanted to read it. And it's, I believe it's a YA, what do you call this? I guess this would be kind of a fantasy, and it's by Isabel Ibanez, and it's What the River Knows. It's a first in a duology. The second one, I believe, is out already, if I'm correct. Let me just see. Let me just look really quick at the date. Okay, I lied. So this was 2023. I got this in 2023. Maybe in the later part of the year. And then 2024, she wrote, I think, the companion to this. So I have to get the next one. And I just felt like, first of all, reading something from my shelf as the first book for the year felt fantastic, because this time of year we're already starting to talk about all the new releases, and I am right there guilty looking to see what's coming down the pipeline, when I know right well there's bookshelf after bookshelf after bookshelf in my house that I have you know, books in it that I can read. So as we all do. Is your ear itching you, Ella? As we all do, we tend to get excited by the new and flashy and forget about, do not knock the camera over. Okay, miss? Listen, you're not going to be able to stay in here if you're going to cause trouble. I'll make her stand up before we finish, hopefully. If she doesn't knock the camera over, if we make it through to the end. Or bark, that's coming. But anyway, it was a fantasy, and it follows this girl who, her parents are archaeologists. She's from Buenos Aires, and she stays with her aunt and her two cousins while her parents part of the year go to Cairo to do, you know, participate in digs and to, you know, see what they can find in Egypt. And so I've never had her walking around while I'm doing a video, so this is very interesting dynamic. But if I don't let her in lately, she scratches at the door, so that will drive me crazy, or she'll bark. So so anyway, her parents, let's see, I don't want to give anything away. Her parents are archaeologists. She stays with her aunt. She decides, she gets a letter that her parents have, hold on, have disappeared. And so she decides that she's going to go to find out what happened. And it was fantastic. I started reading it, and then I found the audio, which, you know, I love to pair audio with books. And it was dual, it's really one person, but it was a dual narration. It was her and this other character who turns out to be kind of a love interest for her. But I would say he was probably about maybe a quarter of the book, if not, maybe even less. She did most of the narration of the book. But it was really good to hear I liked having the dual narration. I thought it was really good. It left in a nice cliffhanger. So I'm definitely going to pick up the next one to read it. One thing you're going to notice about this channel this year is I'm just going to read all over the place. I have books that are all over the place. and I don't want to not read them because they don't fall into any certain category. But without going into the doom or gloom, I feel like this administration that's coming in, I'm going to need a lot of books that are going to make me feel happy and feel a level of escapism. And this was perfect for it. I actually, at one point, was reading this in a cafe and I had the headphones on. And in the beginning, I could hear all the conversations around me. And after a while, I was just so immersed in the story, what was happening, that they were just so faint in the background. It was making me think that my headphones had been updated without my knowledge. Because I was like, what? I cannot hear these people. And as soon as I realized that I was so immersed, I could start to hear everybody again. Like it was like it faded back, you know, and it came back into the forefront. And I was like, wow, that is really, that's what you want. That's what you want. You want to get into stories that kind of just pull you in. And, you know, and it was just very interesting. And she did talk, you know, even though it's still YA or it's not really a historical fiction per se, but it had elements that taught you or made you think about, you know, just who has the rights to, you know, these finds, right? These are in countries that were pillaged in past times and in the present of their objects that belong there. And so it made you think about, well, what about the people that live there, and why are other people being able to capitalize on them? Whether or not they put them in a museum, you're still charging a fee, so somebody's getting paid for us to view them, and for the sake of knowledge, right? So she raised that several times, I thought, in this, that made you, you know, even for a young viewer that's reading it, well, we will think about that, and hopefully we'll modify the way that we look at this process and see if we question, you know, the need for it. So anyways, very good start to the year. Finished it. Even Ella listened to it with me. She fell asleep. What did you say? You fell asleep a couple times. We'll have to do some books that I will give you a fake rating from her. I would say by her reaction that she probably gave this, like, what do you think, like a 3, Ella? Maybe like a 3-star Ella rating. Because she did go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I thought it was really good and engaging and special. There were definitely moments in the end. And you think, Ella, that was kind of like, I think so. They can't see you, so they think I'm talking to the ground. So, so this is my first read. And then I think I didn't bring it up here. Oh, I didn't bring it up here. But I think the Read So Lit book is a book I already read, which was 54 Mile. And I talked to you about that in one of my last videos. Loved it. Can't wait to talk to the group about it. I hope that they all like it too. So I'm not really going to talk about that right now. I think I did talk about it in that video. But that, I didn't want to read it again because I just read it. It's kind of pretty fresh. I think what I'll do is the week before I'll kind of review it. And I'm going to also double check, because if I'm wrong and they're reading this next month and not this month, I'm going to be behind. But I'm pretty sure that that was the first one for January, was this one. So I'm excited. And I also looked at the list. She released a list this year ahead of time because we voted ahead of time. And so there are several books that I already own. So I don't have to buy them. I already own them. So that's really exciting. So I have that. And then the other book I just picked up today, and the reason why, and this is the other thing that I want to do this year, is if books come up on my holds for Libby, I'm going to try to stop always pushing them back. I've gotten really into a bad habit of putting things on hold, getting excited about it, and then when they come around, I push it back for a month. I'm like, well, you really we're going to read it. So I'm trying to be better about that and either take them off hold if I'm not going to do that and keep them in my list of TBRs, you know, or read them. So this one came up and I've had it in there since the book came out, and I think I've pushed it back twice, so I don't want to do it anymore. And this is by an author that I've read several books and I really enjoy them, and there's been a lot of hype around it, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. And I only get 2 weeks with this because it's from another library, or else I could be holding it hostage like I have in the past. But I'm turning over a new leaf this year. I'm trying to do that a lot less. Not saying I'm not going to do it. There will be times. But this one, I'm hoping I could get through it faster. If it's good, it can happen. And this one is by Kristen Hanna, and it's called The Women. And I can't even remember. I will have to read it to you what it's about. But I love The Nightingale by her, and I think she's a really good writer, and I really wanted to check this one out. But it says, women can be heroes. When 20-year-old nursing student Frances Frankie McGrath hears these words, it is a revelation. Raised in the sun-drenched idyllic world of Southern California and sheltered by her conservative parents, she has always prided herself on doing the right thing. But in 1965, the world is changing, and she suddenly dares to imagine a different future for herself. When her brother ships out to serve in Vietnam, she joins the Army Nurse Corps and follows this path. As green and inexperienced as the men sent to Vietnam to fight, Frankie is overwhelmed by the chaos and destruction of war. Each day is a gamble of life and death, hope and betrayal. Friendships run deep and can be shattered in an instant. In war, she meets and becomes one of the lucky, the brave, the broken, and the lost. But war is just the beginning for Frankie and her veteran friends. The real battle lies in coming home to a changed and divided America, to angry protesters, and to a country that wants to forget Vietnam. The Woman is the story of one woman gone to war, but it shines a light on all women who put themselves in harm's way and whose sacrifice and commitment to their country has too often been forgotten. A novel about deep friendships and bold patriotism. The Woman is a richly drawn story with memorable heroine whose idealism and courage under fire will come to define an era. Sounds so good. So I'm here for this. A nice historical fiction. And it's a chunker, though. It's a chunker. Let's just call it like it is for my taste. If it's good, which even if it flows like The Nightingale, I'm good. But it is a 468 pages, which for me is a chunker. So I am going to try to get started on this weekend and see if I can make headway on this. And I'll be really happy because it's so big. If I just read this and the one that I already read, it's a win. I know people read 5, 6. I see some of these kids up here reading 10 books in a month. I don't have time to do 10 books in a month, but I can read, as many as I can read. As I have other things I need to be doing too, but I'm really anxious to see if this is what it's going to live up to the hype. It has gotten a lot of acclaim already, and it came out, was it just this year, past year? Let me tell you. Yes, 2024. So it's only a year old. And I'm looking forward to trying that and see what that's all about. I got another one that I'm gonna talk to you guys about in my next video. But hopefully my next video will be my January setup and my book journal planner. Can you stand up, Ella? Because I want you to say goodbye to everybody. Can you stand up? Come stand up. Yeah, come here. I don't know if they can see you. Come right here in my lap. Okay, there she is. So anyway, this is my Ella. She said, Happy New Year. Say Happy New Year. Can you look over that way? Happy New Year. So I want to hear what you guys have been reading. If you had a nice holiday. If you're ready for the new year. Do you have any crazy bookish like goals? Oh my gosh, no, you're going to knock it over. Do you have any crazy goals for okay, I'm not going to pick you up again. For your bookish goals for the new year? Or are you just going to play it by ear? I'm thinking about mine. I think I'm going to try to look at what I had for this last journal, and when we talk again, I'll talk about what I had said and what I think I'm going to do for this year. But I think I'm going to try to make this year be a lot more fun. And when I say that, not a whole bunch of heavy books right in a row. Even if I'm drawn to them, I can't do it. I know that I'm going to be stressed this year for various reasons, and I just want to have something in my life that I know I can lean on, that I can actually enjoy the process. And this year I'm going to once again continue on that path of reading the stuff I own. And we also need to do a video. I need to do some unhauling. I need to make room. I've got some piles of books that are not making it to shelves, and I have stuff that I want to buy, so I don't think I'm going to be able. You're going to knock the camera over. You're just pushing your luck, Ella. And so I really need to part with, I would say, if I'm just going to put a ballpark number in there, I need to part with 20 books, at least 20 books. And if we wanted to make it really ideal, 25, because it's 2025, if I could come up with 25 books that I've read that I don't, you know, I want to keep books. I was listening to somebody on BookTube that was saying that, you know, keeping the books that mean something to you, not just that you read it. And now that I'm keeping track in book journals of what I've read, I think I can allow myself to let go of books and not hang on to them just because I read them and enjoyed it. Now, and I think I want to keep ones that I really enjoyed, that it makes me happy to see them. And because I'm not really much of a rereader yet. I'm open to it. But I think that I keep books because I paid for them and then I read them and I just don't know what to do. So I think that I'm going to have heart to heart. And then I have books that I no longer have interest in. And I had done that the last time we went through books. And I feel like I need to do it again because I wasn't being harsh enough to do it. And then if there are some books that I like and I really want to keep, but I still want to free up the space, I may put some storage books. I may give myself that. And these can go into the special storage. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. How do you feel about that? Like, do you think if you're keeping it, should it be on the bookshelves? But if you run out of bookshelf space and you know, reality is that, you know, every year you can add something to your collection. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So we are definitely going to have to do a video where we're going to do some between 20 and 25 books. Gotta like see you later, go on. And if I didn't read them and I still want to read them, but I don't necessarily want to keep them, that's going to be a category. Because then I'm going to do that and I'm going to keep track of them and I can check them out of the library. I'm going to do whatever. And then they go back to the library and I still have free space. So that is what I want to do. That's what we're going to try to do this year. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because this is a long video for not that much substance. I mean, substance in the way that I'm not talking specifically about books. So let me know how you guys are doing. And I'm so happy to be back. And I can't wait to like get back into a regular schedule where we're communicating again. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.